In this series of video lectures, we will try to complete the CoffeeScript tutorial in one video lecture. So CoffeeScript is a transpiler and it transforms its CoffeeScript to JavaScript using a transpiler. So JavaScript code sometimes can be tedious and it can be repetitive. So to use code for code reusability, greater functionality, the framework of JavaScript is uh, CoffeeScript. So CoffeeScript is has its own syntax, but it is automatically compiled to the JavaScript using a transpiler. So to install CoffeeScript, we need to first install Node. So to install Node, we have to type this command: sudo apt get install node.js. So in this sudo apt get install node.js. So this node.js will automatically install npm also. So now we have both npm and so now to install CoffeeScript, I use npm install this option minus minus global and CoffeeScript. So it will install CoffeeScript globally. So from any folder you can access CoffeeScript. Whereas in the first line, it will be accessible only from the current folder. So we don't want that. So we will just comment this. So now I have run this command. It requires sudo. I have already run this command, so Office is already there on my machine. So now I will just open Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu for this lecture. So now in this I will open Notepad QQ and I open another terminal. And in that yes, I have removed our file. Now you can see how to initialize variables. Variables are initialized without the var sign. So it is if when it is transferred to JavaScript, it will be returned var number is equal to 42, and no semicolon is required. Similarly, opposite is a boolean variable, and its the value is true. So this is how initialization of variable takes place without the let, without the var, and without any scope. So now there is a condition in which the statement occurs if a particular condition is satisfied. So suppose your opposite is true, so it is satisfied. So number will be assigned to minus 42. So minus 42 is if condition is there. Lambda expressions are basically having an input and produce output. So they are functions of parameters. So how to define? So define any variable name. So in my case, I defined square. Then is equal to, it will take one parameter x, and in this association operator x into x, so it will print a square. So now objects are this is the lambda function. This is called lambda function. This will be transferred to function square. Then it will take as array x. Then it will return x into it. So inside of this much code, this is just a shorthand code for this, and just needs the transpiling step. So now this was about the arrays. List is equal to 1 is an array. Now how to define objects? Objects are defined using the is equal to operator and indentation uh, parsing. So math is a you can say object name, and in math there are several properties. The first property is the root. So root is the square root of the uh, object when the object is created. So square is square function. So this we define this square function. Line number 19 you can see So this is a square function, and cube is x into square function. So Q is you can have nesting of functions. So cube function uses square function. So this is about the objects. Now objects with variable number of arguments. We suppose sometimes we don't know how many arguments are going to be there. So we use the ellipsis operator. So three dots means the ellipsis operator. So winner we know, and runners we don't know how many are there. So first we should be the order in the left from left to right. First should be the definitive arguments which we know, and the last should be the number of arguments we don't know. So runners we don't know, so this is the last argument. So this is hyphen and greater than sign, and after indentation, then in print is the function in CoffeeScript. It will print a comma separated list of values, so winner and runner. So it will uh, print every thing. First will be the winner. So now how to have an alert. Okay, alert, right? Alert. Any text if Elvis. So and now for in loop. So now for in loop takes to the list. So the list was here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for num, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Calculate math object cube property. So calculate the cube as num for num in list. So it will return all the cubes. So the output will be 1, 8, uh, 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125. So this will be the output. So it will perform the mat.q operation on the num for each num in the list and return the array. So this was about CoffeeScript basics. So again we will revise it. First we have to install and first you have to install Ubuntu. In that Ubuntu you have to install Node.js. So this is just this is a Node.js. Node.js will automatically install npm using a sudo privileges. Run the npm install minus global CoffeeScript. So it will install CoffeeScript globally on the system using npm node package manager. So now initialization doesn't require where it is simply and then if operator is there. So if operator takes input as a variable boolean value, if it is true then the left side will be evaluated. If it is false then nothing will happen. And lambda expressions are taken input or one or more inputs and return the values, return the output of the manipulation of the parameter. Like if I want to write square of x, so I'm going to write x into x for x, so it will print a space. So now arrays are like same as JavaScript. Now objects have equal to sign and indentation. So if I have a math object, I will write equal to sign, then the next line there will be indentation. Then the properties can be values, can be functions, lambda functions, or can be in place lambda functions. So here what happened is root, square, and cube are three properties of a number. So I create an object of this using a number, the root will create math dot square root. Math is an inbuilt class in JavaScript, and square root is an inbuilt function in JavaScript. So it will take the square root. So square function we already have defined here. X gives x into x. That is square. Cube function is x gives x into square of x. So that is a cube. So now we have a race, and we don't know the number of runners. So what we do is we know the winner. So winner comma runners and ellipsis operator we will use. In that I will just like dash and then print function is used, and comma separated list of values. It will print all the values in comma separation. Then again if Elvis is there, Elvis is defined. So question mark stands for defined. So if Elvis is not null, then I knew it, and Elvis is none, and then this will not be executed. So now what happens is now for in loop. So suppose you have a list like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will just do the queue operation on each element. So for num in list, so for every index in list, do the match.cube property and assign it to the cubes array. So this was about the CoffeeScript basics. So now we will go to CoffeeScript versioning. So what is the version? The biggest change in CoffeeScript 2 is that now the CoffeeScript compiler produces modern JavaScript syntax. So earlier it was not using modern JavaScript syntax, and the version is also increased. Like the current version is 2.7.0, and then yeah, CoffeeScript becomes JS, and CoffeeScript class becomes a JS class. New features in CoffeeScript 2 include async functions and JSX. So you can I will run this more in the next chapter. So here, what is the transfer? Babelify or Babel package is used to transfer CoffeeScript to the some other file. So now in the next lecture we will do the practical analysis of the CoffeeScript. Thank you. With our CoffeeScript description. Now we will start with now let us create a folder. Indeed, I will just delete this folder, and I will just delete this, and then I will make a new folder, and the name of the folder will be CoffeeScript. Inside that there will be a new file document. The name will be the name is chapter 1 dot coffee. The chapter 1 dot coffee, I will rename it. Uh, Wait a minute. In the future part of the web series, we will be going to these contents. The first is functions. So let us see the function. I will go to Sublime Editor. Wait a minute, yeah. So now we are going to go to the functions. Now in this, there are lambda functions and normal functions also. So we are considered with lambda functions because it is easier to read, it is easy to change, it is supports reusability, and it supports lesser code. So that's why we are using lambda expressions. So now you can see in the previous lecture we had studied cube is a function which takes as input in round bracket x, and it has a redirection operator, and then it returns x into square of x. Square of x is the square function that we had already defined. These were about functions. We also studied if we don't know the exact number of arguments, then use the ellipsis operator. We also learned the for in loop for the function. So it will take the num and it will apply the function match.cube to num for every number in the list. So that was about the functions. So I'm just marking down, just marking down what this is done. Wait a minute. This is done. Okay? Yeah, this is done. The functions is over. So now we move to strings. Strings are as for any programming language. What are strings are same. So in strings there are interpolation, that is string interpolation, text interpolation, which is achieved by the following code. Like uh, wait a minute. So this I will just copy this and paste it here. So what is it has a fill function. It's a lambda function. It has two arguments, container and liquid. But liquid is not specified. It will be sent to coffee value. So this is called default arguments. Default argument should always be placed at the end of the function parameter list. So after a container, only liquid should be assigned because it is a default argument. And the redirection operator inside the redirection operator, I'm using a string with interpolation. So dash hash of container in curly brace will substitute the value of that variable there. Similarly for liquid. So this is called as text interpolation. The use of hash in a string is called text interpolation. So that is about the uh, text interpolation, and you can use both single quotes and double quotes for the string, but it should match it. Yeah, this is single quote and this is double quote, then it will not match. It has to be either both double quotes or both single quotes. So now if I want to yeah, that's it about the string interpolation. So now the point is that how to print the flow. Simple, just it is same as that of uh, the earlier statement. Hash of 22 by 7. So 22 by 7 is a float. It will be converted into a float, and it will be it will like 3.1 something is a decent approximation of the pi. So it will be result will be float. So this was about the strings, and yeah, there can be multi-line strings also. Suppose my string is very large, it can't support in one line. Then I will write long text is equal to then enter, then enter like this. So this is about the one more thing I missed out is there can be a text which will be a string, and it will maintain the formatting. So suppose I want something bold, hello, then strong, it will keep the formatting. So now yeah, so this is also valid in um, the CoffeeScript. So text will be equal to three inverted commas open, three inverted commas close inside that formatted code. So I can use a tab, I can use indentations, I can back indent like that. That is was about the converted functions and strings. Now we'll go to objects and arrays. Objects are defined using curly braces start and curly braces closed. The first parameter is the name of the variable, specified followed by colon and followed by the value. It can be string, float, number, null, anything, or a boolean, anything. Here there are two properties for singles. First is Jagger. Jagger is rock and always is roll. And this is an object. So if I store this in a new file with the extension of default dot coffee, this will have a coffee script that is extension. So one more, this was about the objects. Arrays is always simple. A is equal to suppose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this was about the arrays. So now we go to the uh, uh, array which has more than one elements. So here I am writing bit set is equal to indentation like 101. So the first array is a multi-dimensional so array inside array. So this is the first array an indentation 1 comma 1 comma 0. After that one more 0 comma 0 comma 0. So here I will just put the space bar. So this will return array. So this about arrays and functions, arrays and methods. Now that you can see here, this is the kids method. The kids function as we write the function name is equal to inside the inner function will be there, and in inner function there will be colon, and then there will be the to do. That's what you want to do. So this is using indentation. So the inner function should be indented with respect to the function name, and to do will be indented with respect to the inner function name. So now after that there can be another function. So I will write another function colon then to do. So this is a place where you can initialize your variables and constants. So now yeah, you can see similar way we have done, but it is an object. So this in a function has to be indented. So there will be name, there will be Gaurav, and there will be comma, and there will be age, and this will be 30. So this is my inner function 1. Oh sorry, and so similarly inner function 2 will be there. It will be another object. So I remove this to do. I remove this to do. Inside that there will be name. The name will be Vinayak, and the age will be 31. So this is a function. This is an object. Function name is sorry. This should be object name. Object name has two functions. One is the inner function, and second is the inner function too. So each function has returned some object. So first is the name is Gaura age 30, and second is name is Vinayak age 31. So that is about the objects and arrays. So now we will see array destructuring. Here you can see name is Michelangelo, mask is orange, and the weapon is supposed to match a spear. So now what will happen is I will create a variable called turtle and assign it all the three values. That is, all the three values that are comma separated inside curly braces will be assigned to the turtle. So to access each value of the turtle, we have to use the dot operator. So turtle dot name of curly brace and hash will undergo text interpolation. So after that, we will move to the cookies. comments. So the first line will be this is a block comment. So for a block comment, the first line starting point should be three hashes, and the ending point should be three hashes. So this is a block comment, and if you have to single line comment, then only one hash is required. So now we will see the scope of variable scoping. So variable scoping is that the local variable always has higher precedence over the global variables. Now I have written outer is equal to 1, but inside the function I have written outer is equal to 10. So when if I call this function array function using change numbers, uh, it will take outer as 10. So outer will be 10 for that function. So now yeah yeah if and else. So if I'm happy is a variable and knows it, then clap hands is function will be called. So it is an indentation. You can see that after if there is indentation in the function called that, and then if does not match, and is a logical operator. So unlike ampersand sign, it is written in text. So in Java we write the ampersand sign, but in CoffeeScript we use only and if it is not you can say uh, gone to the if clause. So if clause is written false, then it will go to else and it will show it. So now the one line if then else is also possible. So right, if any expression that returns a boolean value, then use else GIL. So I'm just it is like a ternary operator. So if Friday is there, then Jack else Jill. So if is a boolean variable set to truth, if today is Friday, then return the Jack else return Jill. So now how to initialize multiple values in one statement. So gold, silver, rest are all assign the value unknown in one sentence. Gold is a string, silver is a string, rest is a string, and all these are strings are unknown. Now uh, we have variable number of arguments. So suppose I don't know some, as I know the first and the second prize winner, but the others participate I don't know. So I use the ellipsis operator. So it will be first, second, and ellipsis. So the ellipsis should be the last variable in the parameter list, and it will be assigned to rest in the function. This is again also an example of a lambda function. So now, yeah, so how to merge arrays? So array merging is done using the ellipsis operator. So I have two arrays and I have to merge it together. I will let popular first array and ellipsis. So all the elements will be there, and unwanted ellipsis. So all the elements will be there, and mushrooms. So the output of the this will be all the elements of wait a minute, all the elements of uh, popular. So this will be there because there is ellipsis, and then all the uh, uh, operators of the uh, yeah. So this is my you can say final output of all because I'm merging this using the ellipsis operator. So now yeah, so if you want to have a multi-line like uh, alert box, you can add alert in after alert, three inverted commas open, and whatever you want to do, and then three inverted commas closed. So that will happen in the alert box. So now let us revise what we have done so far in this topic. Firstly, we studied how to define objects in CoffeeScript, same as JavaScript, and as also same as JavaScript. And if you want to have a grouping of bits, you can use uh, a matrix type of data, and in that matrix type of data, you can in each line you can specify the number of elements in each row. So even if it is an array, it is divided internally into three parts, with each part containing three numbers. So you can see there is no uh, comma sign after 1. There is no comma sign after 0. So comma sign after 0. So that is the difference. This is a multi-dimensional array. This is objects. So objects are also uh, you can say shorthanded. So here object name whatever it is equal to, then indentation is required for the inner function one. So this is the first method. So this method has two properties, name, and this method is an object with two properties, name and age. And the next function is also a function with two properties, that is name and age. So here I have computed two functions which belong to this object, and each function has returns an object. So if I write here, if I write here object underscore name, and then I write inner underscore function, and inside that in a function it will return an object with name is equal to Gaurav, and it will return an object with a name is equal to Gaurav, comma age is equal to 30. So you can see this is a uh, object. So what is now, yeah, you can see same kids is equal to brother, sister, then each of the object. So we have studied now about fill the objects and arrays. Now what happens if I want to destructure the object? So what I mean is all the I want to separate all the individual properties and methods and assign one by one to other objects. So what I will do is I will just take the properties, and inside the curly braces I will just write the names of the properties. So I will take name. Suppose I have an object who has name, mask, weapon. So name is suppose Gaurav. Suppose Michelangelo. Mask is orange and weapon is spear. So this all variables are destructured to a variable called as turtle. So the structure is destructuring is called. So what happens is each individual value is assigned to turtle property. So turtle dot name will be equal to Michelangelo, and turtle dot mask will be equal to orange. Then turtle dot weapon will be equal to spear. So it is also text interpolation because it is inside the hash sign. So this is also text interpolation, but it has an object which has multiple properties, which is assigned from the input. So now you go to the comments. Comments are multi-line comments or single comment. Now, if you want multi-line comments, you have to have three hashes at the start and three hashes at the end. And if it is a single line comment, you only have to have one hash. So now on global and we have done. So now if else also we have done. Yeah, so that was it. Thank you. Just revising it, like date, if Friday then Jack else Jill. So that is the date. And Alert function is there with three inverted commas open, three inverted commas close. That will display the alert box. And the ellipsis operator